But Dave, let's move on into our final topic. And you might be two things. First off, you're on Blog Talk Radio.
Might be a little confused.
You're like, whoa, wait a second. Sean's voice, it just went from Sean's voice to Ricky's voice. And if you're on YouTube, you're probably like, whoa, guys, yesterday, Ricky was on that side of the table and Sean was here.
We got different shirts on.
We have different shirts on, too. I mean, here's the thing. Mello happened.
Yeah,
Mello happened. So Dave and I recorded the Mello segment, and then we thought, you know what? We got to re-record this top 10 segment for our kind of team rankings because
shit changes.
Well, let me just put it this way. First off, let me read the teams first. So let's start from number 10, go to 1. Number 10, we've got the Toronto Raptors. Number 9, the Washington Wizards. Number 8, the LA Clippers. Number 7, the San Antonio Spurs. Number 6, the Cleveland LeBron James, or the Cavaliers, as they are formerly called. We have number 5, the Houston Rockets. Number 4, the Boston Celtics. Number 3, Dave, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 2, the Minnesota Timberwolves. And number 1, the Golden State Warriors.
Shocker.
And we're going to talk about much of the same things that we talked about with Sean in the first one. But the first thing I want to mention, why we're re-recording this, the Mello deal took the Thunder from about 9 or 10 in our rankings and put them up to number 3.
Yeah.
That's how much this trade
It's a big deal.
affected the Oklahoma City Thunder in our rankings for this year.
It's a really big deal. I mean, you add in a superstar like Carmelo Anthony, a star, superstar, whatever, semantics. But, like, you add in a player of his caliber, and this team just instantly to 3 on our rankings. That's we consider Melo pretty heavily. You know, like I think we had him unofficially like 4, 5. Yeah. So as far as power forwards are concerned, not too bad. Not a bad jump from where you had it before.
No, but the thing that's interesting though, and this is the first team, because if you want the Thunder part of this, I'm gonna say, for the Thunder fans, go to our Mello video.
Absolutely.
We
went in depth.
We hit the Mello trade. We went all in on the Thunder. I don't want that to bog down this one. Let's give respect to the other teams.
Absolutely.
And I want to start with one team that may be overrated coming into this year.
Really?
Because I
can't imagine we'd overrate anybody.
Just to put some math here, the Thunder, now at number 3, got 149 points of the rankings. The next team, second place, is 11 points ahead of them, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Second place team.
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Only about 16 points behind the Golden State Warriors, which is about half of what it was last year.
Which would be about
1 to 2.
how much they're losing with about 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yes. But I want to ask you, Minnesota, number 2 in our rankings.
Yep.
Are we too high on the Timberwolves?
Y'all are. You and Sean. I think I'm probably guilty as well, though. On paper, they're very good.
Dave?
They filled in their gaps with ex-Bulls who know Thibodeau's system, who know what to expect, who know how to play defense. And that's the biggest thing. Like, this team, a lot of young kids last year, tons of talent, great offensively, didn't play a lick of defense, where, like, Tom Thibodeau should have been able to teach them. They didn't want to learn. So that's what it is. You add in Jimmy Butler, a dynamic two-way playmaker, and just a ton of clutch. And that's one of the things. Like, they lost a lot of games late because they didn't have a true closer. So I think getting Jimmy, getting a man who has the ball in his hands,
who's not afraid to take that
to take the final shot, and then the absolute veteran savviness of Taj Gibson, who goes 100% regardless of how good or bad your team is doing at that point in time. He's just going to give it his all. He's a great player. He's a great role player, and I think his leadership is definitely going to pay off. He's a great locker room guy, great glue guy. So I think those two guys honestly took this team over the top, because we all know Cat is great. Cat's probably overrated, though. You guys had him as your number 1.
I still think he is the best center.
Well, you're wrong, but that's cool. Well, and you can be wrong.
But that's because AD was a power forward in our rankings.
And you don't have respect for Boogie, which is fine. But you're wrong, and that's okay. And Wiggins, a little higher than we, I think, expected. So
that's the one that I think is,
looking back on,
the one jarring this is Wiggins.
But Wiggins statistically is like on pace, like DeRozan level skilled. He's ahead of the curve, which is scary as fuck.
Just wait until he finally grows into his potential.
He's DeRozan, except he can shoot the 3 ball at that age. And I'm talking not like DeRozan now. I'm talking DeRozan like at that point in time.
I mean, if we look to last year, the Wolves were, I would say, overrated as well. We had them top 5. We had them at 5 last year. So they add Jimmy, they add Taj, they add Jeff Teague. They go from 5 to 2.
And Jamal Crawford, right?
And Jamal Crawford is the 6th man. But let's be honest, the Pistons were 3 last year.
Yeah,
we were very high on the Pistons following that that series that they had with the Cavaliers.
That great sweep they got.
The thing that you mentioned with the Wolves that I think will help them is bringing Jimmy and Taj in. They know what Thibodeau wants. And of course, like you should say, well, now Wiggins, Cat, all the guys that were there last year should know what Thibodeau wants because they've played with him for a full year. So you have guys that understand what Thibodeau wants. You have guys who, I'll be honest, I'll take a guy like Jamal Crawford who he is coming into this knowing that, hey, I'm an old fart that is basically going to lose my knees after this season. And he wanted to sign up for that Tom Thibodeau
Jamal Crawford somehow going to play 36 minutes a game.
I don't know why anyone in their right mind would want to sign up for that, but more power to you.
I mean, he believes in the system. He believes in the team. I think they can contend. They've got a lot of talent on paper. It just comes to how they can put it together.
And I think the Wolves, and this is a kind of spoiler alert for next week, I think they're a playoff team. I don't know where to put them, but I think they're a playoff team. And, I mean, the thing is, where will they be? Will they be the second best team behind the Warriors? No, they're not.
Probably
going to be.
Not likely.
I'd have them between 5 and 8. In that lower half of the Western Conference. But like you have other teams, and I know we mentioned this with when Sean was here, so I'll bring it back up. Is which team do you expect to have a better start to the season and then a better overall season? The Wolves, who they're adding a lot of new pieces, or the Celtics, who are also adding a lot of new pieces?
Yeah, this one's tough because the Celtics have 4 new starters.
You're
Wolves,
also wearing Celtic green today.
Yeah, but not for the Celtics. That's cool. And the Wolves obviously have 3 new starters. So honestly, it's kind of a toss-up because both are going to have new ball handlers running the offense. I think, and they both have amazing coaches in Brad Stevens, Tom Thibodeau. So like they're in as good a situation as possible. I think the Timberwolves will likely have a better start to the season as far as a glue thing, but like the East is just so shitty. Like the Celtics might have a better win-loss 20 games in.
And the Celtics will probably be the best
Kyrie,
team in the East.
Hayward, Jaylen Brown.
They'll probably be the number 1 seed in the East towards the end of the year.
I mean, the regular season is not a great predictor.
Doesn't matter.
It's not a great predictor, but it does. There's a lot to be seen. There's a lot of time to grow. Like without the regular season, if you just had playoffs, like people would never grow. Yeah, that's just what it is.
Well, and also, like the reason I say that is like look at last year in the Cavaliers. They could have been the 8th seed and still went to the finals. Like home court advantage don't matter for LeBron and the Cavs last year. Maybe that changes a little bit with Kyrie not out there. I don't think it does by much.
Perhaps.
But the Celtics, to me, exactly like you said, they may struggle early in the year just because you're bringing in Kyrie, you're bringing in Gordon Hayward, you're bringing in new guys to this system, whereas the Timberwolves, you're bringing in guys that know that system. They know the Tommy Thibodeau way to go the ball.
Well, except they know the Thibodeau system, except for the fact that, the team last year did not play the same system the Bulls did, know, back in Thibodeau days, because you have talents like Wiggins and Cat and Levine who are dynamic.
But they know what their coach expects of them, and the effort that is expected in their locker room, and the culture is going to be there.
Kyrie gets a coach who actually has a brain for once. Like, I want to see if Kyrie is more than just an ISO player. I want to see, if he can truly lead an offense and become that next step of a point guard.
And that's the thing. Going into, and I'm glad that I'll be honest, I'm glad we re-recorded this. Yeah. And got the opportunity because I was able to kind of play for you today some clips of that Kyrie interview with First Take that I had mentioned last night, but neither you or Sean had heard anything. And even
I don't watch trash sometimes.
Even Kyrie, I mean, you can be on the Will Kane side and think everything was scripted and he was disrespecting Stephen A. and Max, but when he mentioned Brad Stevens, you even said, you're like, yeah, he actually gets to play for a coach who knows what the fuck he's doing.
He's going to learn a lot, and that's the thing is like, no disrespect to the coaches from Cleveland, but they haven't had someone with the basketball acumen as Brad Stevens. He has a mind for the game.
No disrespect for Ty Lue, but we disrespected Ty Lue during the coaches thing and had him really low.
Absolutely.
Did he deserve to be there?
Absolutely.
You're damn right he did.
Absolutely. So That's why I'm excited. Like, I think it's a heavy payoff for the Celtics team. Like, yeah, they just shook everything up. They shipped people out of town, got new talent in. But honestly, I think that Celtics team, they're dangerous in these. They're very dangerous. Like you said, likely going to be the 1 seed at the end of the year. But the Timberwolves, on the other hand, like, they're going in the West. Things could get rocky. I could see them falling off to, like you said, maybe a 5 seed in the West. And I'd be okay with that. And I think that's a reasonable expectation. The real thing you want to see is, like, will Cat learn to play 2 ways? Will Wiggins continue to get better against,
will
like,
he grow
all
into
metrics?
his potential?
You know, and Teague taking over point guard. You know, we know what Rubio's issues were. They've been heavily criticized publicly. And, you know, with him replacing Rubio, I honestly think Teague was kind of underrated for his time in Indy. Like, didn't get a lot of talk. Obviously, Indy wasn't a big thing, but, like, it's going to be a very good team regardless. Both of them are very good. I think end of the year, Celtics will have more wins, though.
Let me ask you this, though. Let's jump to another team.
Yeah.
Number 8 on our rankings, the Clippers. They lose Chris Paul. They're still 8 in our rankings this year.
Yeah.
Could they be a team that falls out of the playoffs this year? I'm going to be bold and just ask you.
Are you going to be bold and say it? Because they're going to fall out?
I'll be honest. Next week when we do our predictions for the playoffs, as of right now, a rough draft, I think that the 2 teams in the West that I could see falling out are a Blazers team that we talked about in the last segment and the Clippers. I think the Clippers could fall out even with having Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan because of the loss to Chris Paul.
They lost Chris Paul. They picked up Pat Bev. They got Milos. They got Danilo. I don't think they fall out. And they got Lou Will. Like, I don't think they fall out. I think they're still a playoff team. I think DeAndre Jordan is, as much as I will shit talk that man because I don't really think he's as good as everybody says he is. But he has a limited game. Fine. Blake's dynamic. If you have a healthy Blake Griffin,
if they can stay
healthy, awesome. You're awesome. Danilo Gallinari, you have a small forward who can actually contribute on offense, which is something they haven't had in the entire time Chris Paul's been there. So you change that up. Pat Bev, you get a defensive one who can still shoot well. That's the thing. It's like people are thinking Pat Bev only as, you know, oh, well, he just came in to defend, you know, because Harden was lazy. No, Pat Bev still was a good shooter. Like, Pat Bev, 2-way player. Milos has the passing ability of, I mean, if you watch EuroLeague, you know. If you don't watch EuroLeague, watch the highlights, and you're just going to be fucking impressed because it's some phenomenal shit. So if he can bring any of that, you know, there are the concerns because he's a 30-year-old rookie in the NBA. And the pace of the game is different than EuroLeague, but, like, he has the tools to be a phenomenal passer on this team, and I don't think they're going to miss too many steps. Lou Williams off the bench, amazing score. And you've even got a younger guy like Sindarius Thornwell, who I think you and I were both pretty happy with him coming out of college.
You loved him in the Final Four.
Dude's got some grit and grind to him. Like, he gets physical, and even Summer League he looked good. And he should because he's an older player. So I don't think that they're going to fall out. I think that this is a team that, well, they lost Chris Paul, and that seems like a massive loss. The pieces they got back for him and the pieces they've added in addition to that has made this a very well-rounded team.
No, and I mean, the reason why I could see them maybe falling out is also the rest of the West as well.
If Blake gets hurt, though, they're fucked.
Well, if Blake,
you just say that.
If Blake gets hurt, I wasn't going to go there, even though, like, you can say, well, Ricky, it's the Clippers. They're known to have
for their
an injury
injuries,
or two. But I also look and I see the rest of this West, and I mean,
the West is like a 10-team jumble.
Like,
you got the Warriors, and then
because now everything's different. Because last night we discussed this, but the Thunder were nowhere near. Like yesterday, I was like, oh, I could see the Thunder as the 5th best team. Now the Thunder are top 4. So your top 4 in no particular order except number 1 are the Warriors, Spurs, Rockets, and Thunder. Like I said, no particular order except for number 1 with the Warriors. Then after that, I think actually the Jazz could fall. We talked about them before.
Right.
I don't think the Grizzlies fall. And then it's Blazers and Clippers. Blazers, I think, could fall, maybe not. But then you got everyone else, the Nuggets, the Pelicans, the Mavericks even, the Timberwolves that we mentioned 2 seconds ago.
Yep.
I think this Clippers team could fall to, if they don't fall out, it'll be 7 or 8.
Yeah.
They'll be a 7 or 8 seed, and then great, we're going up against probably either the Rockets or Thunder if we're the 7, the Warriors are for the 8.
Yeah, I mean, it's a loaded West this year, and I think the top 10 even of this is how West heavy is it? I mean,
it is. Let's see, we've got the Warriors, the Wolves, the Thunder. That's your top 3 right there, all in the West. The Rockets, 4 out of our top 5. Spurs and Clippers, so 6 of our 10.
Yeah, I mean,
6 of our 10, 4 of our 5, all 3 of our top 3 are West.
That tells you how top heavy the West is right now, and I think that's look. The Rockets are phenomenal. They can absolutely shoot lights out, and because if their 3-ball gets hot, they can compete with this Warriors team. They can compete against this OKC loaded team now.
Are they the second best team in the West?
It's hard to say now.
Even though they are the 4th ranked West team behind the Thunder.
Yeah, I think that the Thunder we haven't seen play, and that's the biggest thing. Like without watching the Thunder play, it's very hard to say where they're going to land. They have a lot of talent, no denying it. But like the 3-ball, the way that Rockets offense flows sometimes, like if Harden is able to get rest time this year and isn't, trying to compete for that triple-double, just absolute insane season last year, I honestly think a much more balanced version of that offense with Chris Paul helping out, that's a dangerous team. That's a team that can go up against anybody. I'm leaning, though. I'm feeling the hype team. Maybe it's just because of the Melo thing. Like, I want to put OKC as, like...
At the top 2.
Yeah. It's just happening. I don't know if they are.
Dave's
I watched them play.
Melo happened today. Getting 2K today. It's going down. This is what's happening.
Yeah,
I can feel it, Dave. I'm feeling it on the side.
It's a little bit hype, but at the same time, like you look around and no discredit to the Spurs. Yeah. They've got the best head coach in basketball. They've got one of the best 2-way players in basketball. I mean, they've got the problem with them is their backcourt was abused, and we know that they didn't get any better.
Yeah.
So how are they going to fix their problems without getting new talent in? The status quo is no longer good enough to maintain your position. And I know they've been a constant factor in the Western Conference playoffs since David Robinson to Tim Duncan to Kawhi Leonard. Like
we're not going to bring up David Robinson, Dave.
I'm
just saying. Bring him up.
The years that they played together, Tim Duncan and Dave Robinson, was after Dave Robinson's injury. Not the best years of his career.
And I just want to say,
a small asterisk there for you.
I just want to say, if you're like, I wonder why Ricky said we're not going to bring up David Robinson, check out twitter.com/mostavailablepod.
It's a whole argument.
It's pinned right to the top. You'll see why. Apparently, Anthony says we got to take your basketball card away.
Yeah, well, Anthony doesn't know the context because Sean didn't give it.
Sean just put the poll up there and let the people decide, which more people at base value are selecting Timmy D and the Admiral over AD and
Tim Duncan was a monster. Tim Duncan was better than the Admiral in his rookie year, though.
Yeah, he was.
He outplayed him. It's just period. So
let's ask
off that
about the Spurs, though, because you bring them up. I know we mentioned them a little bit in the Thunder topic. If you listen to the Melo discussion that we had, is this a Spurs team that I feel like I ask this every year. Is this the year where they fall out and become the 4 behind the Rockets and the Thunder, or will it be, hey, this team gets they're well coached, they're coached to the 2 seed?
As far as the regular season's concerned, they might be able to pull off a 2 seed. Like the regular season, it's all about conditioning, pace, and your coaching matters to a higher level, because at that point in time, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter too much, though, because if they get to the 2 seed, like we said, the West is still loaded, and I don't think that on paper they have less. I think on paper they have less talent than OKC. On paper they have less talent than the Rockets, and even it's very. I want to say even the Timberwolves might have more talent on their team than this Spurs team, but the Spurs just work together as a team than all 3 of those other teams. That's the wild card. It's like that bond between them, that ability to play team ball versus the I'm a superstar.
Yeah.
And how's this going to work? That's what you never have to question with the Spurs team. The only problem is we watch with Kawhi going down, they don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
Pop does not adapt, and nor will he. So
this is our plan. This is what we're going
with old guards, with just Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge and Paul Gasol. I don't know if that team will be able to compete.
You put your soul in the box.
Yep.
It becomes the soul in the box.
Yep.
Okay, Dave. I'm gonna walk over here now.
You don't get it back until you leave.
One team that we need to mention before we wrap everything up. The Cavaliers.
Absolutely.
They're a team that's 6 on our rankings, However, you made the joke last night as you, me, and Sean were together of instead of 30 points for LeBron being number one, you should get really like 45 points.
He does it all. He separates himself from the competition.
Really quickly, just for fun, I'm going to take the LeBron ranking.
All right.
I'm going to put 45 in there, Dave, just for you.
All right.
Just for you, I'm going to put 45. They're at 138 plus the extra 15 would put them at 153. That puts them third, right behind the Wolves and the Warriors.
I feel better about that. I mean, we know the Wolves are overrated, so that's cool.
They would be in front of the Thunder, behind the Wolves if we gave them that extra Again, LeBron rule.
Pretty much because Isaiah Thomas didn't count for them. Think about that.
Well, I mean, they still got the points for Isaiah.
No.
Yeah, because we switched Kyrie and Isaiah in the point guard rankings.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we did.
I thought D Rose was listed as their point guard because Isaiah was out.
D Rose is their sixth man.
Okay.
With D Rose,
that's right. Yeah.
D Rose is their sixth man. IT is their point guard right now.
So we did correct this all
because of the Zach LaVine rule.
We did correct this all. Yes. Thank you for the reminder on that. No, I mean they're
Dave
very
was
good
confused
team.
at first. Dave's like, no, Derrick Rose is because Derrick Rose is going to start probably at point guard.
Yeah, they're a very good team, but they're not an amazingly well balanced or deep team. So I think that's really just what it comes down to.
Will the Kyrie Will the Kyrie trade end up hurting them in the end? Like, is this a Cavaliers team that you expect to go back to the finals? Or will it be...
It's going to be close,
or
man.
are we going to have Cavs-Celtics Eastern Conference Finals?
I think Cavs-Celtics, you can pencil that in because the East is... I mean, unless the Wizards really upset this year or Giannis
Unless the Cavaliers fall to that fourth seed.
It doesn't matter if they tell the fourth seed.
Then they play the Celtics in the second round,
if the Celtics take the one. I mean, that's not even a guarantee at this point. So the Celtics exceeded all expectations last year. Credit due to that team and what they were able to do.
Could you imagine if the Celtics were 2... the Cavs were 3 and they met in the second round?
I mean, I'd be down for that.
Instead of the Eastern Conference Finals, they meet in the second round.
I'd be down for that, man. I think that'd be fun.
Dave's like, fuck it, have them meet in the first round.
Yeah.
1v8.
Let's do it. Let's do it, boys. But
just have the Cavs be the 8th seed just to screw with everybody.
It's going to be really interesting to see how that works out. But yeah, like I said, it's a Cavs team that's not super deep on paper, but they've got a lot of talent, and it's over-the-top talent. It's LeBron James is so good. Kevin Love is so good. Isaiah Thomas so good. Derrick Rose has potential to be good again. Injury after injury, he came back again for the Knicks last year and put up a solid stat line season. He looked good for a good run there in the second half, and it's a shame he keeps getting hurt. And I know as a Chicago guy, I probably am a little more attached to him than most, but I don't think he's done. I think he's still got some left. He's got some gas left in the can.
And I mean, if you look at it, point guard, which is IT.
Yep.
Small forward, which was LeBron.
Yep.
Power forward, which was K Love, and then sixth man, which was Derrick Rose. All of them top 10.
Exactly. That's what
I'm
saying.
All of them are top 10. The only thing that hurt them is J.R. Smith is in the bottom 5. Like, he's almost in the bottom 5.
Yeah, we sort of fucked over JR.
Shooting guards. You have Tristan Thompson, who's also in the last 10% of the center rankings. And then Ty Lue, who just barely got into that middle ranking.
Which was generous.
Just barely got into that middle ranking at, what would that be, 20?
Yeah. No.
On our rankings.
It's fun. I mean, they have all the talent. That's why I think that it's just LeBron is the Eastern Conference Finals. He's the boss for the East. Like, you gotta get past that boss fight to go up against the ultra boss at the end of the game, you know?
So what you're saying is LeBron's the boss fight, then you get through the credits, and the Warriors are like that final where like, surprise boss battle.
You thought it was over?
You thought it was over.
You thought we were done? No.
But it's a surprise boss battle here at the end.
That just slaps you upside the head.
Basically, the Warriors are Sephiroth? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
They're Sephiroth? Is that what you're saying?
I'll take it.
All these basketball fans are like, really? We're getting the nerd?
We're going way back.
We're going nerdisms in here,
back to Final
boys?
Fantasy 7. Sorry.
Any team that you think we haven't mentioned, so like the Wizards, the Raptors, any of those teams you think we should at least mention before we wrap everything up?
We should. I mean, we should be nice. I mean, the Wizards they had one of the best starting 5 plus minuses in the NBA last year.
Alpha Dogs.
Hashtag Alpha Dogs. Their 1-2 combo is amazing. If Otto Porter can live up to anywhere close to that contract that he just got paid, he will be great.
Where the Nets just basically said, hey, Otto, you want a max contract? Hey, match that match that.
Yeah,
Wizards.
I mean, they're just looking at him smiling like, sign that one. I mean, it's just, I love the Nets. I love what they've done. We've gushed about them, though. This Wizards team is as far as John Wall and Bradley Beal can carry them. when they're good, they're very good. And I honestly think that that's one of the scariest teams. I had them pegged last year as one of the teams to look for upsets.
They were a
and
dark
the way the
horse
East
for
Coast lands out, or the East Coast, the East will land this year, 1 through 8 will be very interesting to see matchup-wise because they can abuse teams. And then the Toronto Raptors, the other one, is kind of fun because, again, you've got a great 1-2 combo in Lowry and DeRozan. Lowry a little older. They both had injury issues last year. If they stay healthy, you got a full year of Serge Ibaka. If they can figure out how to use their center, like this is a team, again, I don't expect them to win out a series against the Cavaliers.
Or the Celtics.
I don't know. I think either one of these. I think the Celtics...
The Celtics got a rebound.
They've proved nothing. They've proved nothing so far.
If they can rebound, that'll be something.
Yeah.
Because the Bulls out-rebound them.
Exactly.
I mean, Rajon Rondo almost single-handedly beat them, Dave.
Sweep. First round exit for you. But no, I think both those teams are outside wild cards for knocking out a team like the Celtics, a team that everybody expects to be in that Eastern Conference final. There's a chance with those teams. They have enough talent on paper, and a series is a different world. It's not one game.
No, exactly.
It is its own world. It's coaching gets heavily valued in that situation. And you can have performances.
Unless you have LeBron James.
And you have game-changing performances. Yeah. You have players who play out of their minds for a couple of games in a row, and it's just like, you couldn't predict that.
But you also have that moment like with John Wall. Hits the game-winning shot in Game 6.
And then he's got
that
nothing.
Next game, it's like, what do you got for me, John?
He can't hit the side of a barn.
What do you got for me? Come on,
Bradley Beal
finish out the series.
Bradley Beal was really dragging him through Game 7. Like, shoot, and hit something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing, and that's why playoff basketball is so magical, man.
Well, and this is where we're might run out of time on the camera, but I'm going to get this over quick. Thank you guys for checking out. We went long on this one. Me and you usually go long when we do these.
I like to talk.
Thank you guys for checking out our rankings. We'll be back next week with our predictions. Make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast, especially if you want to join us on a podcast.
Love to have you on.
They can join us.
Yep.
They can join us. Patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Check that out. I want to thank you guys for the watching and or listening. And as always, have a good day, everybody.